Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hang on, let me turn down my music for a second. Sorry, I was preparing my lesson on the spiritual discipline of silence and solitude, and I just got a little carried away with my music, so sorry about that. Welcome to another session of Access Life Bible Study online. This is session 2 of this week, where we're walking through Habakkuk chapter 1. And if you haven't had a chance to catch the first session, Kaysen posted that to the Facebook page, and that's on the YouTube page on our Access Life Bible Study YouTube channel. So go ahead and pause this, check out that quick video, and then jump back over here, and we'll wrap up with Habakkuk chapter 1 for this week. So when Kaysen told me about Habakkuk chapter 1, I was a little caught off guard because that's not one of my go-to books or chapters, right? And so as I was reading through it, there was one verse in particular that really stood out to me. And so that verse was in verse 5. After Habakkuk is kind of lodging his complaint to God about what's going on. And by the way, God can take the complaints, take the questions, and we see that in Kaysen's lesson. But the Lord gives an answer back to Habakkuk, and he says, "For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe even if you were told." And I just feel like this is such a relevant verse to what we're going through right now, because I feel like we're going through an unprecedented time, and we are so clouded by the day-to-day, the hour-to-hour, the minute-to-minute information that we're having a clouded vision of what maybe God is trying to do in our world. I mean, this disease is over the entire world. It's sort of like an unprecedented thing, especially in our lifetime. But not only our world, but maybe our church, maybe our family, maybe us personally in our personal lives. What is God going to do through this? And would we believe him even if we knew what he was going to do? And so I was looking at, Jason and Justin laid the foundation for a series that we're doing on this online LBS kind of series about spiritual disciplines. And I thought, what spiritual discipline is one that's applicable to this? And really, you could probably argue they all are, right? But one of them that kind of stood out to me and I settled on was the spiritual discipline of silence and solitude. And like I said, we're so inundated with the news, and it's not even enough to check in with the news every day because things are changing by the hour, right? And, we can justify the need to stay up to speed with the news. I know I do this for myself, right? This has implications for my family. When can we get out of our house and go back to our normal lives, take our kids to the trampoline park, right? This has implications for our businesses and our jobs. When can I stop worrying about being furloughed or laid off? When are my suppliers going to open back up so we can receive our material and produce our product for our customers, right? That's something that us and our business are going through as well. And so all those things, yeah, you have to deal with them. They are important, but we see in Colossians 3:2, God's word speaks just to this. And this is what it says. It says, "Set your minds on what is above, not on what is on earth." And so I was just thinking, maybe silence and solitude is a way for us to push back against all of the things that are going on earth just for a minute and try to step back and say, what is it that God is doing in our world, in our church, in our family, in our own personal lives, in the midst of this crisis, and what is that thing, and would I believe it? Would I have faith that God can do that and will do that? Even if he was to tell me. And so this week, I want to challenge you to take some time and try out silence and solitude. And as I say that, I kind of think of two main reasons why silence and solitude may be something that we don't normally practice or implement in our lives. And so the first one is we may feel guilty about silence and solitude. I think that if you look at some of the other spiritual disciplines, they're very selfless acts. You look at the spiritual discipline of serving, right? You're giving your time and your talents away in order to serve somebody in need. And then maybe stewardship of money, right? You're giving your resources to somebody who needs it more than you do, or maybe you need it too, but you're sacrificing that money so that for the better of somebody else, right? These are very selfless things. I think sometimes we can feel guilty about practicing silence and solitude because maybe my kids need me, my wife needs me, my job needs me, every single person in the world needs me. I think a lot of us feel like that right now, right? In a crisis situation. But we see Jesus himself practicing this. And this is one of the things that I love about God's word is God never asked us to do something that Jesus himself didn't do or was willing to do himself. And so we see Jesus was very needed when he was on earth, probably far more than any of us, right? Of course, far more than any of us. He could have spent all his time teaching, all of his time healing people, all of his time performing miracles, and he did a lot of those things. But he also took time to step away and have silence and solitude with just him and God. And if it's good enough for Jesus, I think it's good enough for us. So feel free to do that. Don't feel guilt associated with that. Go for it. The other one, and the one I think I personally fall into this camp, is silence and solitude is a weird, awkward, funky kind of thing, right? When I was in my truck doing commuting back and forth to work, it's kind of hard to remember that, but I had almost an hour each way every day. And I filled the time with music and news and all kinds of stuff, right? Never in silence in my truck, because it's weird and it's awkward and I don't like it, right? What I would say about that is, I've been challenged by a couple of guys in the past. Hey, that's not necessarily a biblical thing, just to always fill your life with these noise and other things. And so there's been a couple times where I've stepped into the awkwardness. I've had my time of silence and solitude, and it was really impactful for me personally. And looking back on that, that's something that I like to build on and do more of. So this week, I challenged myself and I challenged the class. Whether you're somebody who does this regularly, or you've never done it in your entire life, or you haven't done it in a very long time, step into 5 or 10 minutes this week of just complete silence and solitude. Turn off this video. I realize that's ironic. I'm talking about silence and solitude. Turn off this video, turn off the music, turn off the noise, give your spouse permission to go do this, spend 5-10 minutes, and then share that with our class this coming Tuesday. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. I miss you. Katie and I love our time on Zoom. 8 o'clock Tuesday nights. We're looking forward to it. Even if you got to be a little bit late, we'd love to have you late. And love you guys, miss you, and I'll catch you later. See ya.